Sepsis is defined as a life-threatening organ dysfunction caused by a dysregulated host response to infection. It represents a clinical syndrome where the body's immune system reacts excessively to an infection, leading to systemic inflammation and potential organ damage. Organ dysfunction in sepsis can be identified by an increase in the Sequential Organ Failure Assessment Score, or SOFA score, by 2 points or more, which correlates with a significant risk of mortality. Septic shock is a subset of sepsis characterized by profound circulatory, cellular, and metabolic abnormalities that substantially increase the risk of death. Clinically, septic shock is identified by persistent hypotension requiring vasopressors to maintain a mean arterial pressure of 65 millimeters of mercury or greater and a serum lactate level greater than 2 millimoles per liter despite adequate fluid resuscitation. This condition leads to dangerously low blood pressure and organ failure, making it the most severe and life-threatening stage of sepsis. Sepsis and septic shock are medical emergencies that require immediate attention and management in the emergency department. Early recognition is essential to initiate effective treatment without delay. Once sepsis or septic shock is recognized, obtaining blood cultures is the first priority. Broad-spectrum intravenous antibiotics should be administered within 1 hour of recognition. This time frame is particularly important in cases of septic shock, where any delay in antibiotic administration is associated with worse outcomes. Fluid resuscitation is a foundational step in the early management of sepsis. The current recommendation is to administer an initial volume of 30 milliliters per kilogram of intravenous crystalloid solution within the first 3 hours of recognition. Following this initial bolus, further fluid administration should be guided by dynamic assessments of fluid responsiveness, rather than relying solely on static measurements such as central venous pressure. The goal is to optimize cardiac output and tissue perfusion while avoiding fluid overload. In cases where hypotension persists despite adequate fluid resuscitation, vasopressor therapy should be initiated without delay. Norepinephrine is the preferred first-line agent for the management of septic shock. The target mean arterial pressure should be maintained at 65 millimeters of mercury or higher to ensure adequate organ perfusion. If necessary, additional vasopressors or adjunctive agents may be added to achieve the desired hemodynamic goals. Effective source control is a critical component of sepsis management. Identifying and eliminating the source of infection should occur as early as possible. Depending on the situation, this may involve procedures such as drainage of abscesses, surgical debridement of infected tissue, or removal of infected devices. The timing and method of source control should be tailored to the individual patient's condition and the characteristics of the infection. Supportive care plays a vital role in the management of patients with sepsis and septic shock. Oxygen therapy should be provided as needed to maintain adequate oxygenation. If mechanical ventilation becomes necessary, lung protective ventilation strategies should be employed, particularly in the presence of acute respiratory distress syndrome. Blood glucose levels should be closely monitored and controlled to avoid both hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia. Venous thromboembolism prophylaxis should be initiated unless contraindicated. Stress ulcer prophylaxis is also recommended for patients who are at high risk of gastrointestinal bleeding. In patients with septic shock that is refractory to fluid resuscitation and vasopressor therapy, corticosteroids may be considered. Hydrocortisone is the agent most commonly used in this setting. The decision to initiate corticosteroids should be based on the patient's hemodynamic status and response to other therapies. Strict adherence to these current guidelines for the early recognition and management of sepsis and septic shock in the emergency department leads to improved patient outcomes. Timely initiation of blood cultures, antibiotics, fluid resuscitation, vasopressor support, source control, and comprehensive supportive care forms the cornerstone of effective treatment. Healthcare providers must remain vigilant and act promptly to ensure the best possible prognosis for patients presenting with sepsis.